Afshen Inhlikane Ruperile and welcome to another episode of the 9Cubed series. In this episode, I had a chat with Associate Professor Salome Maswime, who is the head of global surgery at the UCT. Associate Professor Salome Maswime doesn't need any introduction in the health fraternity in South Africa and most parts of the world. So without any further waste of time, let's go and hear what she had to say. Okay, thank you so much, Prof, for allowing me to do this. For those who have been living under a rock, can you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay, I'm Salome Maswime. I'm from Limpopo originally. I'm an associate professor at the University of Cape Town. I'm an obstetrician and gynecologist by training, and yes, I'm head of global surgery. I head up the global surgery division at the University of Cape Town.
Do you remember if there was ever a point where you were like, this is it, I want to be in medicine?
So my journey into medicine was very interesting because I didn't really plan that I wanted to become a doctor. It was much later in high school, I think around grade 11, where I became curious and thought it would be something noble to do. And even when I got into medical school, immediately after high school, at first I didn't really feel that I was in the right place. I felt like I might have chosen the wrong career. But eventually, I started loving what I was doing and really grew and developed, and it's what I do with my passion now.
Okay, so for people like myself, I first heard of global surgery when you came to UCT, and I was like, what is this? So what is global surgery?
So global surgery is a new discipline in medicine. It's not older than 10 years. In fact, It really became known or defined around 2014. It started in high-income countries, and what they realized was that there wasn't access to surgical care in many low and middle-income countries in places like Africa. And it became a discipline that looked to improve surgical health systems. So it's almost an interface between surgical care or surgical disciplines and public health, and trying to strengthen the health systems that will enable vulnerable populations to get access to surgical care when they need it. Okay. So you are the head of global surgery at UCT. What does that entail? Yeah. So I head up a division, and of course I'm the founder and and head of the division. So initially I walked into a UCT where it was just me doing global surgery and had the task of developing it into a discipline and creating a team. So currently we're a division within the Department of Surgery. We've grown from having just one staff member, myself, to having about 5 staff members and others who volunteer as well. So it's a leadership role. It's an administrative role, ensuring that you have to come up with the vision, you need to drive it, come up with plans, but it's also an academic role in that I supervise students. I run a master's program. I supervise PhD students. I also teach some of the undergrad students on what global surgery is, and we run short courses. So it's a role that is both academic as well as.
And if you can remember, is there anything or anything that stands out that you love the most about being in the STEM fields? In this case, health sciences.
Yeah. So, I'm also the president of the South African Clinician Scientist Society, and I'm also a World Economic Forum Young Scientist. And I think that speaks to my love for science and wanting to advance science in Africa. For me, science is about creating new knowledge. It's about us as Africans being the people that are contributing and answering questions that haven't been answered as well. So I'm very aware of the fact that if we are not doing it ourselves here, we'll forever be relying on solutions that were found in other parts of the world that may not be relevant to us. So I'm a strong advocate for STEM, for science, for women in science, for youth getting into science, and for Africans to get involved in science.
Okay, then I just want to give a last bonus one. What would you say is the role of STEM education particularly in Africa? What needs perhaps to be done more so that we can take full advantage of what STEM education has to offer?
Yeah. So, there are many. I mean, Africa is an amazing place. We've got a lot of great things, but there are also a lot of challenges and problems. If you look at healthcare, if you look at infrastructure, there are many things that need to be solved, and science is one of those things that is able to solve. We're able to solve problems as scientists. But it starts off with people in high school, getting involved, learning about science at a younger age. I mean, I have my sons. My one son is 9 years old. Already when he was 6, 7, we're asking him questions about, do you want to go learn about coding? I took him to a science camp where he could just learn for a week anything about science. So we've got an important role of inspiring young people to get into the field of science, so that when they are older and when they're in a space where they can contribute, that it's easier for them to get in, because we've got lots of problems that we need to solve, and the solutions need to come from us. No one's gonna come and solve our problems as Africans. We need to start solving and finding opportunities to deal with the challenges that we have here.
Okay. Well, that brings me to the end of this interview with the phenomenal Professor Maswime. Thank you so much for your inspirational life and your hard work in the science community. And thank you so much for this time as well. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoyed the chat as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't, and consider forwarding the link to anyone you think will benefit by watching and being part of this YouTube channel. Until the next episode of 9Cubed series, from me best, thank you so much. Na cancer.